All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, Ron here at AbleSys. Be glad to go over the charts for you and take a look at the charts and show you what we're looking for in a chart. In other words, what's the setup, regarding the colors and the dots that we want to see, which are going to give us the best odds and the lowest risk. The best odds of winning and have the lowest risk. So we'll take a look at that, which are generally the sweet spots. But certainly at the beginning of the trades, it's going to work out well too. You always want to get in, close to the beginning of the trend, of course. So we'll take a look at some different markets as always, different time frames, and we'll jump in. Let's just jump in, and if you have any questions, you have the question box there. So be glad to help out and answer the questions too. So just take a quick look at the NASDAQ here, because this is always, to me, a great one to trade in both intraday and longer term. Just has a lot of volatility to it, certainly compared to the ES or the S&P. Just has a lot more volatility to it and works out real well. And on a bigger picture, this is daily chart. Of course, here was the big, huge uptrend here for about 4 months straight. This is the interesting part. How it's just a classic no trade zone. I love when I just see that there, how accurate the Abletrend hidden support and hidden resistance points really are, meaning the dots. The big blue dots are the hidden support below the price, which blocks or stops it from going any further lower. The little red dots here are the daily dots, which stop or block it from going higher. It's just amazing how that's exactly what did happen, and the software said it would happen, back here before it even started. So that's the great part about it is, it just alerted us saying, what, for about a few weeks here, just don't do anything as far as trading the NASDAQ index itself. Just move on to something different. It went right to the red dot and bounced off of it, and just exactly what you want to. Exactly what you would expect. And the point that brings it up is because I want you to recognize that on the charts that you're trading. Everybody's using the software for different markets and different time frames. And the key is, or what's important is, it works exactly the same. A lot of times say, oh, well, you didn't put up a forex chart, or you didn't put up an E-mini chart or a Google chart. It doesn't matter. I just want you to, once you see a chart, it's all the same. It's always the same rules, same colors and dots. So I want you to just recognize what to look for, just to be helpful there. So when you're looking at whatever market you like, and I only put up the markets, the most popular markets that everybody asks me to pull up, and my favorites too. So you can see over here, last week the software gave a buy signal back again on the NASDAQ, because you have a blue bar, you've got a blue daily dot underneath, you've had the weekly dots here for like 5 months, so that's a no-brainer there. That's already been on a weekly chart. A lot of people say, oh, but the big dot wasn't underneath it. Well, of course it's not. It only comes in every 5 days. So as long as it's here, it's accepted to be over here. It's assumed to be over here. It's the same thing. If you can draw a line between the big dots, it would be the same thing. So I just want you to realize that there's like an invisible line between the dots. They only come in every 5 days because it's a weekly chart. That's the only reason. From there, we go to the daily dots, and you can see there's plenty of support there. Yeah. So you can see over here, about a week and a half ago, the software says, hey, NASDAQ's going to be going back up again soon, and it's up 122 points since Abletrend said that it would. Since the buy signal came in a week and a half ago, it's up 122 points. So the point is, if you trade NASDAQ stocks or the NASDAQ index, obviously you're in a good spot. And the software said, a week and a half ago, you want to be looking for NASDAQ stocks. Keep in mind when you do trade individual stocks, their earnings reports, because that could really go against you. Nobody knows what's going on, inside the company and all. So always be careful, because this is earnings season now in April. Every 3 months is earnings season, usually in the middle of the month. So you got to be real careful is my point. Well, usually the whole month. So every 3 months, generally speaking, is earnings. So if you do trade individual stocks, you definitely want to be aware of that and be real cautious on that part. Okay, now let's take a look at the intraday on the NASDAQ. You know, for day trading, which mini NASDAQ, as you probably heard for the past 6 months or so, that's definitely been the more profitable one that I've been saying versus any of the other E-minis. Crude oil has been another very profitable chart because, again, this volatility. We just need to see movement up or down. If it's flat and sideways like the S&P was today, just not going to get any movement. Nobody can win. You know, we just had a bunch of no trade zone. It was just a break-even day because we hardly had any trades, which is really the good part about Abletrend is on those real choppy sideways days, you hardly will have any trades because you'll have a lot of no trade zones like right here. Red bar and red dot says sell it. 3 minutes says sell it. 9 minutes says no, don't do it. There's an invisible wall there that's going to block it from going lower. It's too risky. Don't risk your money. Move on to something else. Over here, another no trade zone. Good thing we didn't because both times it went up. So that's the beauty of the software. It's keeping us out of false signals. It's keeping us out of sideways choppy markets before they start. Not after the fact, after you've already gotten beat up like every other indicator, especially the free indicators out there, which is just a complete waste of time and money. Really nice trade over here earlier this morning, as you can see. And my point is, I just want to bring this up because I want you to realize this is what you want to see on your chart, whatever you're trading, or whatever stocks or futures or forex, and whatever time frames, day trading, swing trading, end of day trading, it doesn't matter. This is all I'm saying is you want to recognize this on your chart. When you see this on your chart, it's something to say, this is what I want. This is really, you know, putting the odds greatly in my favor. This is a really good risk-reward ratio, meaning if we lose, and there'll definitely be losing trades, I will guarantee you that for sure, there'll be, you know, small losses. Nobody's going to get killed on any loss because you must put your stop losses in place as soon as you make your trade. You got perfectly, I mean, just an absolutely perfect trade here because it's a blue bar. You've got the 3 minute, you've got the 9 minute. Everything is in total agreement. There's no red dots above, and we're looking for the big red dots, which they aren't there. I mean, up and away it went. I mean, it was just a, you know, home run. I mean, here's where we're out of the trade right there. Second lower row of blue dots below the price. Here's the price. Here's the first blue dot underneath it. It's the second blue dot down underneath the price. So we got stopped out there, you know, got in over there. It was a nice little, 8 or 9 points. Along the way, multiple lot traders, like most people are who I talk to using Abletrend, just, you know, great places to scale out is when you're up near that upper band, because it usually means that you're very overbought, and it's like stretching the rubber band. It often pops back. The further is very important. The further above the little blue dot you are, like here, I mean, that's ridiculous compared to the rest of the chart. I mean, that is just like a mile away. The further you are, the greater the chance it's going to snap back to the blue dot. So, you know, you got that kind of profit in and you're this far away, don't hesitate to take some profit. But that's why we never, ever start the trade that much above a blue dot. We want to be close to the blue. Look over here. Look at the distance here, just a couple of points. That's perfect. We never want to start a trade like way up here and the blue dot's down there. No good. That's about 6 points away. So technically speaking, we say within 6 points it's okay. I like to be a little less than that. So technically speaking, let's call this a trade here, and then we're out right here. Say, wait a minute, you said to put it on the second lower blue dot. There is none. This is the first row of blue dot. Just put it one tick under the blue dot. We're out. Right away out. That's okay. Small loss. We can live with that. They will happen for sure. The hardest part about trading is the mental part. You know, have a couple of losses, you wind up quitting, you know, and then you get, you know, something like this, and you go, oh man, why didn't I stay in it? You know, why didn't I keep doing it? I would have not only got my money back, I would have made money. And this has been a good week. It's been a real good week, especially for NASDAQ and crude oil, mini NASDAQ and crude oil. The day trading, that's been excellent. Another no trade zone. Here would be a sweet spot. We're going to lose a point on this because we'd be in here, and that's, we love when, look how close it is to the blue dot. Plus, I love when it goes from green to blue. Green means pullback, and now blue means it's sort of like a dip down, stops right amazingly right at the blue dot. It's just amazing how accurate the dots are, you know. And then blue means it's going to go up again, but we lost a point on that trade. No trade zone in here, obviously. Red dots above. It couldn't break above it. Wow, that's just what Abletrend said would happen. says the red dots are going to stop the price from going higher. It did it 5 times here. Said the blue dots are going to stop it from going lower. Did it twice over here. Here was the home run. And I got a couple of really nice calls on this. I love when I get a call on something like this where one of our clients made a very large amount of money here. I mean, this is just a perfect sweet spot. About a half an hour before the market closed, you got blue bars, you got blue 3-minute, got blue 9-minute, everything's in total agreement. You got nice protection below. It's triple confirmation. Gotta love that. Could be just triple confirmation close to the blue dot. And that was the home run trade right there. About 20, a little over 20 points, about 22 points, because you're way outside the band here, and you know you've got to take profit there, that's going to snap back. But that was a nice 22-point winner right at the end of the day. We were up a few points going into that, and then, of course, that was the home run of the day. So, yeah, it was great. It was about a 25-point profit on the day. And, you know, I think, you know, you got to trade. I mean, if you're going to do it right, I mean, you got to be there the whole session, you know, generally between 9:30 and 4 o'clock Eastern, which is 6:30 and 1 Pacific. Stock market hours, got to be there to do it the right way, if you're serious about it. Really good stuff there. And I love when I get those calls how somebody did real well. Did the NASDAQ, Alan's asking, did the Wintick report show the NASDAQ as a top pick? Yes, of course. Any blue bar with a blue dot on a daily chart, yes, it's going to be on the Wintick report on that day. Absolutely would. You not only get stocks in Wintick, you're going to get ETFs also. ETFs, indices, yes. And this is just a 30-minute chart that I just like to keep on the side here just to get the overall longer-term direction. Not that you have to trade in that direction. No, you don't. You don't have to only trade in that direction. But when the 30-minute has a blue dot and the 3-minute has a blue dot and the 9-minute, it just opens up the door. If you want to get in on a green bar, it's a little more, it's a little more risk getting in on a green bar. But it does open up the door if you want to be a little more aggressive at that time to do so, as long as the price is like right next to the small blue dot. So this way, if it's an incorrect signal, it's a very small loss. And that's the beauty of it. Keep the losses very small. And that's what we do, which is why it's all about low risk and why it's so well liked, because the risk-reward ratio is just so much in our favor every single time we make a trade. Doesn't mean we're always going to win, and you're certainly not going to nail it perfect every time either. So don't beat yourself up or get down, whatever, that you didn't nail it perfect. Believe me, nobody can. It's an impossibility. The software is just a guide. You're not going to get in at the exact price and get in at the exact low and get at the exact high. Not going to happen. Not for anybody in the world. But it's a tremendously accurate guide, low-risk guide, to navigate the markets, before it happens. Obviously, if you knew what happened after the fact, you would never lose. So just you got to lean on it, got to trust in it, and that if you have a little bit of patience, actually a lot of patience and a lot of discipline, you've got a chance to really hit a home run. Great crude oil chart today. Another great call on that one earlier. From a client who got in right in here, just an absolutely perfect sweet spot. Boy, that's just, you can't get any better than that. 30-minute had red dots, 3-minute red dots, 9-minute red dots. I mean, everything was right there just for the taking, and down it went. Outside the bands, absolutely take some profit, especially for a multiple lot trader. That was a little bit early. It was like a little 7:30-ish. New York time, but here's another perfect sweet spot right there. I mean, that's just a textbook case. When you see this on your chart, again, regardless of what you're trading, if you're trading forex, stock, or futures, or long-term, short-term, doesn't matter. If you see this setup on your chart, wow, jump on that, because that's a really low-risk trade. And then if it hits the band, you got yourself some really real quick profit, nice amount of profit, real quick. If you just trade one contract and you type the likes to get in out quickly, fine, take your profit there. If you trade multiple contracts, you're definitely going to take, part of your position off there. And then we'd be, of course, be stopped out right there. Second higher row of red dots above the price. So, pretty good stuff. Been a really good week. Wow, we've had some great feedback. And the hardest part is just doing it, pulling the trigger. That's the hardest part. That's why it's not for everybody, and that's okay too. It's okay. You're not going to nail everything perfect, but it sure is an accurate guide. Taking a trip somewhere you've never been. Obviously, nobody knows which way the market's going to go before it happens, before you're going to have the odds in your favor, and it's going to be low risk. Okay, you got yourself a nice little trade over here on the CL, where you have triple confirmation right there, blue bar, blue 3-minute, blue 9-minute, up and away it goes. If for any reason you didn't like that or you weren't watching it at that time, you have another. You got blue bars here with blue 3-minute and blue 9-minute dots, close to the blue dots also, only like 6 or 7 cents away, and anything from 10 to 12 cents is perfectly good to take. A nice little quick profit right there, again right there, again right there. The software kept us in the trade the whole way. It never said to get out. Every time it would pull back, it would just come right to the support, the hidden Abletrend support, bounce off and then go up again, just like it did right here. And if you don't have these dots here, you're flying blind. I mean, you'd have probably gotten out here or here on the pullbacks. I mean, it would have only been normal to do that. I certainly would have also. So, it's just natural to get out because you're thinking, oh, I was up and look at this, I gave it all back again. You had an additional sweet spot there. Again, green to blue, triple confirmation, blue bar, blue 3-minute, blue 9-minute. I mean, the chart's just screaming at you here to take it. It's a super low risk trade. And, Abletrend saying you got all the odds in your favor. Jump on that. So if you see this on any one of your charts, just jump on it. I mean, if you're looking for a trade, you just can't get a better low risk trade than that. For sure, it's not going to be right every time, but even if it's wrong, it's no big terrible loss. But you just got to have the patience and the discipline to keep doing it. That's the hardest part. Good stuff right here. It's the same thing. The same thing that we talk about. There's nothing different. There's certainly nothing different. All the years that I've been doing the webinars, and we've been here. It's always the same colors and dots. It's always the same rules, and been around 20 years, boy, in a business where, indicators come and go left and right. Oh, that's some pretty good credibility and some, on Able's part. Okay, let's take a look at one more here. We got a swing trading chart. Really good for option traders, especially because they like to, generally stay in trades, a couple days or, a week or so. This is PayPal. After basically going sideways here for a couple of weeks, boy, again, you've got notice. I mean, you probably should notice the pattern by now. This is what we're looking for. It's the same thing on this chart that we just talked about on the other 3 or 4 charts that I talk about on the 3 or 4,000 charts over the past couple of years that I talk about on the webinars. And again, small blue bar right near the blue dot, triple confirmation. No more red dots above. Now, here's an interesting point. This is a good point that I want to bring about here. You see over here, a lot of people might get a little confused by thinking, oh, I can get in now. No, there's a red dot. Notice on the beginning of the day, this is the open of every day. The last 4 days, there was a red dot. You can't take a chance because you have to assume, even though it might not happen, we want to always err on the cautious side. You have to assume another red dot's going to show up here. So even though the blue bar, the buy signal on the 2-hour chart, and this is just for stocks and indices, this 2-hour and daily combination is not for futures and it is not for forex. Because there's just too many hours in a day. There's 24 hours in a day. There's only 6.5 hours in the stock market. And we always want about a 3-to-1 ratio with the 2 time frames that we're combining in the guidance chart. And if we use this 2-hour chart and a daily on a futures contract, well, that would be a 2-hour chart and a 24-hour chart because there's 24 hours trading in futures and forex. There's only 6.5 in stocks. But the point is, don't get in here because of this red dot here. This is keeping us out. If it goes up and shoots up, so be it. We'll move on to something else. We're not going to take high-risk trades. Abletrend is only going to be about low risk. That's what makes it kind of special because it tells you not only when to trade, it alerts you when not to trade. If there were red bars above here, that would mean no trade. Here, there's blue dots below here. We're not going to short this or buy puts. the 2 hours telling us to do it, the daily saying, no, don't do it. There's an invisible support point there. It's too risky. That's a no trade zone. So it's just as important to know, when not to trade. And so here, I mean, anywhere in here, any of these blue bars, fairly close to the blue dot, certainly not far away, 30, 40 cents away. I mean, it's a super low risk trade. Stop loss goes on the second blue dot under the price. This one down here, not this one, because this is the one right below the price. This one here is a little bit lower. And if you click on the cross or the plus sign here, you can see crosshairs on the chart. So any one of the, if you missed it this day, the price only inched up a little bit here. So you had a couple of really good opportunities here to get in. Last week, if you had bought yourself a call, 43 and a half, you're at 47 and change today. I mean, that's a home run. Alan, Ron, does the PayPal market usually trend well? Don't know. I don't watch this consistently enough, but just noticed this one here a couple days ago. Just keeping an eye out on it, and this was a nice buy signal. Again, I just want you to recognize what we are looking for, what combination of colors and dots, and where the price is in relation to the blue dot underneath. Another thing, a small blue bar is much better than a long one. So you get a long one here, now it went sideways, and a pretty good chance it might even pull back. A short bar is always better to start your trade on a shorter bar. So you got a short bar, near the blue dot, you're only about 30 cents away, triple confirmation, no red dots above. This is what you want to be looking for. I'm not saying, hey, necessarily trade this particular stock, because the ship has sailed already. But my point is, whatever market you're looking at, because everybody around the world uses it for something completely different, this is what you want to be looking for. These kind of setups, this combination of colors and dots, like I showed you here, and like I showed you on the crude oil chart 4 or 5 times here, and like we looked at on the NASDAQ chart, like right over here, and all the other charts we've been looking at. Over here on the NASDAQ index chart, this is a daily, weekly, it doesn't matter. See, we looked at all different time frames in different markets. It's always the same rules, same colors, and same dots. So we just want to look for those particular setups that give us the big advantage and put the odds greatly in your favor that are low risk trades. That's it. It's really kind of easy. Most people can, going to pick it up real quick because it's always the same thing. It's always the same. It's very repetitive. And it's real simple what we're looking for, these setups. So put the odds in your favor, and I think you're going to like what you see, because if you always do that, yes, there'll be some losing trades, but you're going to have a lot more winners on the long run. Just have to have the patience and discipline to do it. So hopefully this is helpful for you. I'm always here every day, all day long. I certainly love what I do, and anything I can do for you, just let me know. So thanks for being here, everyone. And